And kicking off our second half, it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage friend of the show, Janice Maffei is a founder of Vision First, who took up storytelling after turning 50. Her work has appeared on New York stages and been published in literary journals. She leads Reclaim Plan A workshops, helping women resurrect their buried dreams. Please welcome to the stage, Janice.
Hey, I've always wanted to do this with a microphone, kind of whip it out, and there you go. Anyhow, so listen, scarves. I have a problem with scarves. Basically, if we were to count up how many scarves I have, I can assure you that I have more scarves than dollars in my retirement account. So it's a little bit of a problem. I've got them every color, the color wheel, Roy G. Biv, if you took 7th grade science, from red, orange, right through indigo and violet. And then you gotta do that, basically, you gotta do that times 3, because you have to have the different weights. You gotta have the summer cottons, you gotta have the seasonless silks, you gotta have the winter wools. It's a problem. And then, you can't just live with solids, folks. So now we're into patterns, paisleys, patchwork. I'm telling you, I have a problem with scarves. And the first step is kind of admitting it and seeking help. So I knew I needed help, and I got help. Marie Kondo. Enter Marie Kondo and her life-changing magic of tidying up. Okay, so I'm gonna go Marie Kondo. If you know anything about Marie, you know that there are 4 game-changing words at the center of her seminal work. Does it spark joy? And spoiler alert, everyone, most things, the answer to that is no. You end up with a very spare life. But in any event, I interrogated every object in my life against those 4 questions. And, some interesting things happened. Does it spark joy? Does it spark joy? I went right into the heart of it, and I went to my red shoe collection. It's fairly substantial. The truth of the matter is, look, folks, I'm not Dorothy, and I am not meeting the Great Oz for cocktails later today. So you know what? Goodbye, and you send them on their way. That's another part of the Marie Kondo program. So I let the red shoes go. Then let's talk about something very quotidian. It's not that interesting, but it's profound. Turtlenecks, okay? Right, because here's the thing, turtlenecks, warmth, they kind of hide the waddle. There's a lot to them, but the fact of the matter is, and I'm glad this is an adult show, because, friends, turtlenecks are promiscuous. You start with 2 black ones because you have to have one that you can wear and one's in the wash. A few weeks later, you open the drawer. Now you've got neutrals. You've got white and you've got gray. Maybe you've got navy. You give it some time, open the drawer again. There's like a pink turtleneck there. And by the way, most of us don't look good in pink. So I took all of my turtlenecks and sent them on their journey. Cardigan sweaters, very good if you want to put used Kleenex in the pockets. Excellent. But I had to kind of confront, I was not volunteering at the public library every Friday. I could let the cardigans go. Goodbye, cardigans. Goodbye. Send them on their way. Now I want to talk about something that's very important. I want to talk about books. Books. I want to especially talk about aspirational book collections. That's the kind I have. It's the kind of book collection that reminds you that you want to be smarter, wiser, better, a better mother, lover, problem solver, meditator. And I have an entire book collection of those kinds of dreams just waiting there on my shelf. And I woke up, thanks to Marie Kondo, and I woke up and I said, you know what? I think I'm good. I don't actually think I have to go for personal growth. I'm pretty good with who I am. And so I could let all those books go. Next up, the socks. You know, I counted out 47 pairs of socks, and I literally fell into a coma. I was boring the shit out of myself. Socks are a puzzle, and I'm going to tell you why socks are a puzzle. Do they spark joy? I don't know if they spark joy, but they fucking keep my feet warm. So you're like, what do I do here? You know, very complicated. So it's Marie Kondo. Seems simple, and it is a puzzle. I found that I was living the Marie Kondo thing so strongly, and after a while, months had passed, perhaps years, and everything seemed different. The landscape was more serene, less clutter, less noise, but everything was different. What had changed? It was then that I realized my husband of 30 years was gone. This is the kind of thing that can happen with Marie Kondo. Her book should come with a warning label. So, you know, it was good that I had given up a lot of things. You know, I had trimmed my closet, you know, just living in 600 square feet. It had been an important exercise now that I was living alone. And so I woke one day, not too long ago, I woke up, and what happens? I wake up and I'm like, God, I would just love to slip on a pair of red shoes today. But I don't have any red shoes. Problem. So it was then that I realized that clutter, if it's thoughtfully done, can become a collection. All right? Thank you. So clutter done right can become a collection, and that's actually what I've been working on, and I want to share my last few minutes with you here to actually illustrate the kinds of collections that I'm building in hopes they inspire you to build your own collections. Let's start with something substantive. It's important. It's important to have spirit guides, wisdom, companions. This is St. Joseph and St. Gerard. It's an Italian thing. Another comedy night, we can talk about that. But it's not complete because you know what? We need St. Ruth. We need St. Ruth. And hey, how about Woody for good measure? So this is one of the kinds of things I have on my shelf and I proudly display. What's on your shelf? Just would ask you to think about that. Another thing on my shelf, owls. Owls. This is a brand new collection, folks. Just started last month. How did I get these owls? It's as important, and there's a lot of learning in this. I said to my boyfriend, Richard, I said, I'd like some owls. And that's kind of what you have to do with men. Like, if you thought they were going to secretly read your mind and know what you really wanted, Richard, I want some owls. Why do I want owls? We went to Guatemala together. I had a shaman reading in which I found out that the first part of my life was about being a toucan. Interesting. And I was now completing my owl period. Wanted to commemorate that. And just so you know, I'm about to start my jaguar days. So, just saying. Look, there's a to connect this to the next big idea I have to share with you, very powerful to collect while traveling. We were in Guatemala. There are many wonderful things to collect in Guatemala. Magnificent textiles, handsmith jewelry, woven bags. I have an unusual eye, and I came up with this as my new collection. Shoes, not shoes. So, you know, you're going like, yeah, all right. But you know what, friends? This is my new, it's very new. I mean, it's really new. This is my new miniature shoe collection that I feel, it has a long life in front of it. In any event, I guess I would just ask you in closing, what are you collecting? And have you been inspired by anything here tonight? So go forth and collect, and thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Janice Maffei, future Jaguar. Inspiring tiny shoe collections up and down the island of Manhattan.